Hi, this is Brian from B's Music Shop, and I'm here at the 2023 Chicago Vintage Acoustic Drum Show, and I'm here with Mark from Cardinal Percussion. Is going to tell us a little bit of the history of the company and what he brought here today. So how's it going, Mark?
It's going great. We're having a blast. As usual, the Chicago Drum Show is a destination for drum fanatics,
yes,
of course.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't make it last year, but we're here this year.
Yeah.
And like we were mentioning off camera, when a company called Universal Percussion closed, my business partner and I, Jim, bought all of the brands that that company had.
Yeah.
And so the new company is called Cardinal Percussion.
Nice.
And that's the parent name, and then we own a bunch of different brands under that name. Attack Drumheads, Wuhan Cymbals,
Yeah.
Holes, Lug Locks, Cannon, and a few other. And then we also distribute many of the popular brands domestically.
Oh.
So we own brands that we sell domestically and internationally, and then we distribute other brands, domestically.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like you took all the best things that Universal Percussion did
exactly,
and put them under one boot.
It's like we picked the corner piece of birthday cake that had all the icing on it.
Sounds like. So what did you bring to the show? What do you want to show
So
us
there's
today?
some unique stuff, particularly the Orbit bass drum head. We got a patent on this.
Wow.
And I learned a lot about the patent process in doing so. But the Orbit bass drum head is really the first 1.5 ply. It's a 1.5 ply head where you have a full head on the outside that you're making contact with, and then underneath it, we've only opened up the section necessary to open up the head, and then it shuts off almost like a physical gate. And if it might not translate well, but if you hit it,
let's try it.
Slam it.
Oh yeah.
So there's
really
no
good.
muffling in there or anything, and that's the Orbit bass drum head.
Wow.
That really.
Oh, and there's a resonant. You have a resonant.
Yeah,
model
there's a
too.
resonant version which comes with the holes. Like I mentioned, we own the holes product. So where we port it at the 4 o'clock position, you get that holes on there.
Nice.
But when we bought the brand, there was a complete restructure with a new logo, new models. The Orbit was one of the first ones that we put out. The Baron. Snare head, which you can see with the red dot on there.
All right,
This has become our best-selling snare head. We have the Eric Singer. This is the drummer in Kiss.
Yeah.
The Eric Singer signature head is super popular. And we have basic drum heads from 1 ply, 10 mil, coated all the way up.
So what makes these? Is it just the dot, or what is it?
There's a little bit of magic going on. So this particular head is really everything that I loved about a head. I was, prior to owning Attack, I was using another brand, and I would take the control ring that came with it and I would cut it away and modify it.
Yeah.
So what I did when I designed this was, this only has a 1/2-inch control ring underneath it. We call it a micro control ring. So from the collar of the head out, it only goes a 1/2 inch. You can't see it here, but it has this really cool black hoop on it. And then I put a red dot on top because red's my favorite color. And it was that shallow of a decision, but so I just designed something I thought was cool.
I've been guilty of that before.
Nothing wrong with that.
I own the company, and I like doing this.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's my role in the company. I do most of the design stuff and the marketing, so this is what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah, I noticed a new logo. I really like the logo.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can you hit it a couple times?
Yeah. So this is a pretty focused head. Purposely not real resonant, where if you need something open, we've got it.
Yeah.
So
one more time on that. Just
yeah.
That's awesome sounding. Yeah. It's like everything you want and nothing you don't.
Yeah, it's just enough muffling. I always say this is like the type of head that's for the guy or girl that might just put a touch of muffling on, like just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now they don't have to.
Yeah, I like my snare to be as close to open but not bad sounding, and that's like perfect.
Right, exactly. Funny story about this is when I had the prototype, I sent it to one of our artists, and he played it. I called him up, asked him what he thought of it. He said, I loved it. I said, oh, great. I go, well, you have to send it back. It's a prototype. He sent it back, and he had worn a spot right here.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, you never hit the dot. And he's like, that's not my sweet spot. Yeah. So that sent me down a rabbit hole, which led to this.
Oh.
This is the Logic dot. So the concept here is I started studying the travel pattern. What direction? Where do drummers play? And we all have a travel pattern where we play our grace notes to where we play our backbeat. And it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And so the concept of the Logic dot is that prior to tightening it down, you turn the head to face the direction that you travel. Where do you play your backbeat? and where do you play your grace notes? Which direction are you moving?
Nice.
And right here we have it set up where someone that does their grace notes at like 9 o'clock and then does their backbeats in the center. But you can turn it in whatever direction.
I mean, you don't just rim shot every time like I do.
There's nothing wrong with that either. Flip the stick over to the butt end. Yeah. Well, that's when you would use the Eric Singer from Kiss snare head if you're doing that.
Yeah.
That's the Logic Dot.
That's great. And then this we're gonna rock and roll all night.
Yeah, exactly. Eric's obviously playing giant arenas, and he's our longest endorsee and very loyal guy, super nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's from my home state, Ohio, so he's an Ohio guy. Yeah.
You guys are right back. Yeah.
It was meant to be.
We're Michigan, so.
Well, I got no problem. I know we're supposed to have a problem, but I don't.
Yeah.
So,
I might.
Okay, well, we could wrestle later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's a bunch of other options. Obviously, I brought like the same snare, the same tom, so that people can hear different things. Take it over.
I like that they're all vintage snares, which tells you that you got some other reasons to be here.
I got some other issues. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Take you over to Wuhan.
Let's go to Wuhan. We can bring it right out here. Grab the stands and stuff out.
This is where it all starts. So, when people think Wuhan Cymbals, they obviously think about our Wuhan China.
Yeah.
And this really odd-shaped bell is not a bell. It's a handle. And these cymbals were used ceremonially. They would take two cymbals together, and they would twist them, and it would simulate the roar of a lion, which is why these are called lion chinas. So we take that Chinese ceremonial cymbal, cut the string, because they were always in pairs, and we drill a hole in it, and we bring it, and we westernize it. We bring it over to the U.S., and people start putting them on their drum set. And during the heyday of Rush, Neil Peart, at that time he's another brand's poster boy. He's got that brand all over his kit, but he's got one of our Wuhan Chinas, and that legitimizes the brand. And that's the launch of the Wuhan brand, is really off that success.
Wow.
And then we just keep going.
I had one of those in my kit for
you have to.
Yeah,
you have to. I brought the smallest one we make, an 11-inch, all the way up to a 27-inch, and then all the odd ones in between.
Yeah.
And then
cool.
this is we make a bunch of different series like behind you. Really proud of our relationship with Ludwig. We're doing all the drum set cymbals on their Accent series kits. So if a beginner's getting started and they buy an Accent kit from Ludwig, which comes with cymbals, that's us doing it.
Yeah.
And but this is the first series in the whole Wuhan line that I designed. It's called the Koi series.
Oh, nice.
And I'm pretty stoked on this. Maybe we could walk around front.
Let's walk around front. Absolutely, absolutely.
I think we have enough.
You're good. Here, I'll stand on this side.
Yeah, that's cool. So what I did on purpose is, this is our boutique cymbal. It's a B20, like the Lion Chinas, but I didn't want to scream old school Wuhan with the giant silk screen. Very subtle laser etch logo, a little koi logo, and little koi fish kind of ties into the whole Asian thing on it.
Yeah.
And I think you'll dig these. Let me let you hear them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there is 16, 17, and 18 crash. I'll just we have a 21 and 22-inch ride. The rides purposely have a pretty flat profile so that you could also lay in and crash them real easy. Nice. I think they speak quicker that way. We have a conical china. And actually, when I had the prototypes of these, I called Eric, the drummer in Kiss, and I'm like, hey, you got to check out this cymbal I came out with. I had all these really bad names for it, and it was Eric that came up with the name Conical China, which I thought was pretty cool. But it's a playable bell. This is the dark version, and this seems to be the best seller out of both conical chinas.
Yeah, it has a really great look. I like the patina, And
like its namesake, the koi fish, all of them are unique and different. You know, there's no, everyone looks a little different.
It's super cool. I mean, it just has that, like, I mean, a lot of times I think of a China, I just want like a big, like, white noise, like crash, like, and it has that, I think the dark one just is like, it's that button that's got the right look.
Exactly.
You know?
So, and then we have 14 and 15 inch hats, 10 and 12 inch splash.
Can we hear the hats?
Yeah,
a little
sure.
bit? I love
These
hats,
are the
so.
15s.
Nice. Those are great, man. Congratulations
Thank you.
on working through that. That's got to be such a huge accomplishment, man.
Yeah, for me, it's been a blast. Maybe lastly, I could show you this. So we are right down here. We are the sole U.S. distributor for all of the licensed John Bonham stuff.
Oh, wow.
So there's a company in
some of that out there,
in the UK. Yeah, there's the Bonham stick.
Yeah,
That's a great stick. And the drumstick company is called Promuco. The parent company is called Barnes & Mullen, and they're out of the UK, and they struck up a licensing deal with the estate of John Bonham.
Nice.
And they needed to pick a distributor in the USA, and we met with them and talked to them, and so we are the sole source for that. And we are strictly a wholesale company, so we only sell to music stores, drum shops, drum builders.
Yeah.
We don't sell to the end user, but we do a lot of OEM products for popular drum brands where we provide their hoops, tension rods, lug casings, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's the story of what's going down.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, my business has done business with back in the day with Wuhan a lot, and I always just remember they made some of the nicest, like, budget-friendly cymbals. Like, you put them right against some of the biggest brands, and they were stamping them, and they were very trashy sounding, and the Wuhans just were always just a little nicer, like, pound for pound, right in that. They punch really hard at their price point. It's unbelievable.
That is a focus of ours, is to be aggressively price point where we're affordable for the average player.
Yeah.
At a nice product too.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always been really cool. And I said, I've loved the Chinas forever. They're so cool. I'm glad to see that brand didn't melt away, that somebody picked up the rope and ran with it. So.
When we were inking the deal for us to buy it, that's literally what the previous owner said. He's like, I just feel like my brand has a chance to keep living.
Yeah.
So, in
Awesome.
both brands. So yeah.
Awesome.
And that's what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you talking to me today.
Nice meeting
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me.